What up, what up? This is Finance, Fitness, and Folk channel. We discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So in today's episode, I'm going to discuss why requiring your woman to work is not masculine. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing the video out. Keep it leverage to better yourselves. So if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Hope you get some out of the video. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it, right? So why do I say that requiring your woman to work is not masculine? So I was seeing some of the videos within the last, I don't know, maybe like the last 3 years, maybe 4. Probably around the time the pandemic happened. And I'm pretty sure this was going on before that as well, but it was very prominent from what I saw when the pandemic first happened. And then we have all these folks on the internet, you know, folks couldn't go outside, right? So a lot of folks were posting videos, commenting on things of that nature. And I've seen some of the topics where a lot of guys would come up there and they would say, and you know, the topic could be about you know, feminism. It could be about toxic masculinity. All these things that relate to red pill, and folks are thinking that men are being emasculated. All these other things, right? So depending on what topic it was, I saw a lot of men that pretty much said that if he works, his wife should work. Like, there's no getting around that. Like, I'm not gonna be the only one in the house working. If she's able-bodied, she's gonna work, because none of this stuff in here is for free. You know, she needs to work. I need help with these bills. I need help with, you know, paying for this, paying for that. You know, it's a lot. It helps the family better, and helps the family along a lot further if both of us work, right? But here's the thing about that, right? So I'm not saying that that's a wrong thing to do, and if it works for your family, it works for your family. I've said it in a couple of videos before when I talked about controversial things like this. If whatever I'm talking about is contrary to what you're doing in your household, and what you're doing works, then by all means do that. There's nothing wrong with, you know, with disagreeing with what I say. Something wrong with doing things your way, and contrary to what I'm saying. I'm speaking in generalities, meaning that I'm saying that the majority of people that look at these things are probably going to think the same way I do. That's just the bottom line. That's from statistics, and that's from just having a little bit of common sense, honestly, right? But like I said, whatever works for you works for you. So I'm not here to tell anybody to change their household based on what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you require your woman to work, that's not a masculine trait. That's not masculine at all, right? And the reason why I say that is that the family dynamic a lot of times requires it requires the man to be dominant in his space, in his family space, right? And not to say that your wife working or your woman working emasculates you, but there's something to be said about a man that actually has enough funding to literally take care of everybody in his family, versus he literally has to count on his wife or his woman to put it to bring income, or the family fails. I'm gonna say that again. There's something about a man that's able to financially support his family without any help from his woman or his wife, versus he needs help from his wife or his woman, or the family fails. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a lot of women out there that are in the corporate space, and you know, they have careers and they make a lot of money. And there's a lot of women out there that are doing these things, and they would be very happy and content with getting with a guy and marrying a guy that's able to take care of them as a whole, and they don't have to work, right? One of these concepts that is very prominent when it comes to this is when the woman gets pregnant, because you know, the optimal thing for your wife to do, I'm saying wife because we don't want to be impregnating women that you're not married to. That's not a good look, right? It's not a good look, and it doesn't make you masculine by doing that. It really doesn't. But yeah, if your wife gets pregnant, the optimal thing to happen is for your wife not to have to work, right? Because if she has to work, then that causes a lot of stress and possibly anxiety on her part, I don't think too many women out there that are pregnant want to, they want to have to work, right? It's an option. It should be an option for them, right? Because what I'm saying is that if you're married and your wife is pregnant and she's working, she should have the option to come to you one day and say, at whatever month she's at, hey, husband, I'm, you know, it's done. Like I don't want to work anymore. Like my feet are hurting. I'm having a headache. You know, it's getting very difficult to move around with the job I have right now. So I want to sit down. I need to sit down and have this baby, and take a couple months off after the baby's here, and then I may go back to work. But a lot of men are not in position to do this, to tell that to their wife. A lot of men out there that are married have to have their wife to work in order for the family to function, as far as the family to be able to sustain themselves. And that's not a good look. It really isn't. I could care less about your background. I could care less about your skill set and all these other things. Because what should happen is, and I know this, and you know, it gets to the concept like what should happen, what could happen, right? But what should happen is you take care of the finances, right? You don't have to pay the bills. She can pay the bills. You know, if your dynamic is where is she's better with money, then you bring the funding in, and then she pays the bills. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But it has to be optimal. It has to be something that you're able to do that benefits the family. Now, I do understand that 2 incomes benefits the family. I totally get that. But I'm telling you right now, your wife may not look at you to a certain degree with you having to work, with you making her work, right? Versus she has the option of working, right? It's a totally different dynamic. When a woman feels like that she doesn't have to work, it really gives a sense of security on her part. Because what I say plenty of times on videos before, women need security, right? So you're being able to fund the family and financially sustain the family on your own without any help from her makes her feel a lot more secure. And if you're having a situation right now where your wife has to work or the family fails, meaning that y'all might possibly be on the streets, because if she starts working, that's it's a bad look, man. I'm just saying it's a really bad look. So I can't tell you how to fix that. I really can't, other than, you know, you get another skill set, getting a hustle, right? Nothing illegal, you know what I'm saying? I don't advocate about doing anything illegal, right? But there's nothing wrong with you actually having a second job. There's nothing wrong with you actually starting a business, creating a business. There's nothing wrong with you doing side hustles. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, right? And what I want men to understand is that, you know, the men that I hear on, and well, not here, but read on these comments when they say, where they're so adamant about their wife working that they actually get into an argument with me and say that I'm some type of like simp or something because I don't require my wife to work, and like, oh, she should be out there working with her. Like, why you got laying around the house? Who just say my wife is laying around the house? You know, she's a housewife and she has her own business, right? So she's doing a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have to have her money. I don't need her money, right? Her money is her money, and my money is her money. And she manages the money, and I bring in the bread, all of the bread, right? And there's nothing wrong with, and it doesn't matter to me if my wife works. It really doesn't, but she doesn't have to work. I'm gonna say that again. My wife doesn't have to work for things to be settled. You know, I'm sitting outside on my deck at my home, a house that I purchased. She didn't purchase this house, I did. Now we're on the same deed, right? But my income purchased this house. And it's not a flex. I'm just saying that I provided this for my wife and for my family. I had 2 kids at the time, and I knew my mother-in-law was coming in here because we was going to take care of her, right? But I'm the one that did this, right? Because I wanted better for my family. And I was able to do this because of my background, because of my IT background, because of my military status at the time. And that's something that I did on my own. I think the guys that are on these comments saying these things, they haven't put the work in. They're lazy. They haven't put the work in at all. They haven't built themselves up. You know, it was through blood, sweat, and tears. You know, just getting it. That's all I've been doing since I've been 20 years old. I've been getting it. You know what I'm saying? My career was successful. I came out swinging, Started making a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I've been doing it. I bust my ass all the time to make sure that my family is straight, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? If I pass away early because of me being stressed out and making sure that things are straight, then so be it. You know what I'm saying? That's part of being a man. It's part of being a man. And I think a lot of guys is on the comments, they're soft, they're weak. They don't want to put the work in. They want life to be easy. They want their wife to be around here making a whole bunch of bread, and adding on to the pot so they can take their foot off the pedal a little bit and be a little bit more comfortable. Life should not be that comfortable for you guys at all. You know what I'm saying? It should not be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying for you to put yourself in an early grave. I'm just saying that, you know, you sacrificing your wife's time and resources for her to go to work, for you to be able to sustain the family, it's not a good look. So the only suggestion that I can say is that build your skill set up, do a side hustle, do something. Because what's going to happen when y'all get older? What's going to happen, or what could happen, if she gets sick and can't work anymore? What you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you got a lot of savings. Hopefully you got a side hustle going on. Hopefully you got a business going on. Because if you're in a situation right now where if your wife could not work anymore, then literally nothing will be paid, and you guys would be in harm's way, and it'll be the threat of being out on the streets. You really need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and think about what you're doing. Because what you're doing right now is that you don't have your family in a steady situation right now. You really don't. It's one thing for you to get in a situation where you can't work anymore. Then it's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to mitigate some things. But if you're in a position where your wife has to work, and her income literally is 50 of the essential bills, and if she stopped working, then things are going to falter. It's not a good look, guy. I can say it's not a good look, but it really isn't a good look. So take this with a grain of salt. You know, I don't feel like that being a person that is being a guy that pays all the bills is being a simp, is being masculine. That's all it is. So let's get on our job, y'all, and let's start being masculine. All right. So you want me to discuss a topic that you feel like that's going to benefit the channel or yourself? Email me at findingfitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address in the description below. Find Fitness and Folk, Triple F, I'm gone.